how did you get to this point right here to mental health? Where was that start?
All right, so to take you back to the very beginning, I always loved to do music. So, I growing up in Richlands, you know what I'm saying? I had but my grandma had a neighbor, in the Whites, we call him Teddy Boy. But he used to, when I was in the sixth grade, he used to just write rhymes for me, this and that. So I became interested in like music, break dancing and all the type of stuff like that.
Right.
So that's where I first fell in love with hip hop,
Right.
so to speak. But just moving on from that, high school, doing the sports, I always still did music. That was always like my therapy. And just growing up, how I grew up, you all as a kid, you always try to find your sanctuary where you can just relax and ease your mind. So music was my thing, growing up, slicing tapes, making beat. I was doing all of that, man. It was all the big boom box. That was just me. But,
What year was this?
This was 80s, man. That's all I'm gonna say. 80s.
So you taking it back all the way to the 80s, right?
So I'm telling you, this is the origin of the music part of me, So like just going through that college, all that, I always was in like talent shows and stuff like that. And then a friend of mine actually got a deal. So when you see that and in your face, like, oh shit, that can really happen, especially coming from around here, it just kind of gives you a motivation and, a push to try to do something.
Right.
Yeah, so.
That's super dope, man. So tell us about, I want to ask you this, right? Not off subject, kind of still on the same subject, right? So what's the difference between today's hip hop music and the 90s to you? Because you would consider yourself, would you say I wouldn't say your prime, but when you would say when you was the most active was maybe early 2000s, late 90s, maybe?
Yeah.
So what's the difference in the music scene now? Like, what would be your differences? Like,
I just think the landscape of how they distribute the music is different. I don't think the music is so much different. I mean, everything got to evolve, and so I don't think the music is still the same type of format. The way you go to the studio, you write verses, you do a hook, you know what I mean? So they still do it like that, but I just think the business of the music has changed a lot. And with streaming and all that type of thing,
right.
Like when I was coming up, I mean, we had to go find somebody to make CDs. I'm running around with a trunk full of CDs, just, especially coming from North Carolina. I'm from here, but I really didn't move around out here with the music. They knew me out here for sports. So they didn't really support the music part of me. So I took it, west, started messing around out there in Raleigh, Chapel Hill, so that's really where I made my name, as far as back when I was Axe Slaughter before I changed it to Dean Smiff as I got older. But, so, it's just the landscape of the music just changed, not so much how it's made and, because, it's just evolved a little bit, like everything.
Which one do you prefer? Would you prefer back to the CD sales? Was it more profitable for an independent artist with CD sales, or is streaming a new wave? Because me personally, I think streaming killed the independent artists in ways, as far as to make money, because you get liquid, you get cash money, from your sales rather than a stream where you gotta stream 1,000 views to get, 7 cents or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So which one do you prefer?
Well, when we was doing CDs, like it's more, money right there. Like, I mean, it's kind of like hustling. I mean, it's just money right there too. You know what I mean? When you're doing it now, it's long term because you can put something on the internet and like, right now I still get paid from a 2018 album that I dropped, Film at 11. So I just pulled that album, about to re-release it again with new tracks in it. And I mean, it just keep going and going. So that's residual income that's just coming to you just from that. You know what I mean?
So you think there's perks on both sides?
Yeah. So I don't think either is better. Like I said, it's just a different time, man. You just gotta adapt to it.
So let's talk about this new album that just dropped.
Right.
Mental health. That's why we here right now.
Okay.
The new album dropped. So tell me, what was the reason behind naming it mental health, and what does mental health mean to you?
Well, let me say this first. My mental health is out now, Spotify, Apple Music,
We'll put the link in the bottom.
all of that, all streaming sites, you can get it. It's free. All you gotta do is download it. That album right there, people say that's my best work. And, at the end of the day, being a 46-year-old music, or I don't call myself a rapper or nothing like that, because I'm 46 years old. When I use music is my therapy, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go to my everyday 9 to 5. I'm gonna, I don't carry myself like, oh, this is what, that's my therapy. So that's kind of how my mental health happened. The last couple of years I went through some things, you know what I mean? And uh my brother, which is my cousin, but my brother, my brothers, which you was one of them, you know what I mean? You guys came to my house and, you pulled me out of a situation, out of a slump where I didn't even know if I wanted to live anymore. You know what I mean? So just him dragging me out of the house and pulling me to the studio and just forcing me to go back to what made me feel good, and next thing you know, I had 15 songs and I put 10 of them out, like, just like that. So it wasn't nothing I planned to do. Cause like I said, I quit rap. Like, in my head, I was thinking like, nobody.
What made you want to, man? Like, you such a great rapper. Like, like what made you feel like you needed to stop?
It's life, man. It's life. Trying to push a kid through college, you know what I mean? Trying to balance, life in general, you know what I'm saying? Not coming from the best circumstances, no excuses, but, just trying to stay afloat, you know what I mean? It just, sometimes that shit get hard on you and you just gotta, you either gonna fold or you gonna push through it, you know what I mean? So, I just chose to like, okay, I had to priority, just get my priorities right. You know what I mean?
What keeps you that strong though? Like what keeps you that strong? What drives you?
Well, first and foremost, faith, bro. You gotta
Right.
believe in God. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just having a few good people around you that's gonna steady, like, when you think that shit is over, that's just gonna wake your ass up and be like, motherfucker, you won't get your shit together. That's just how, So, I took all of that and I put it in that, like, instead of going out acting on what I was feeling, like the title track, My Mental Health, that song was written because I actually was thinking about doing something stupid to myself. So instead of doing that, getting drugged to that studio, if you hear that record, you can hear it in my voice. You can hear the words that I'm saying. I'm talking to myself in that song. It's a conversation. You know what I mean? So things like that. I just took things like that, took it to the studio. And honestly, bro, that's what helped me get to where I'm at now. Like, I'm a much better person mentally now than I was probably 6 months ago.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So, with all the suicide rates and all the things going up in today's world with children, and you dealing with your own mental health issues and your own problems that you got to go through, what's your message to the children?
Talk to somebody. Don't hold that shit in. No matter what the feeling is, you know what I mean? Kids got a voice too. Like, I grew up in an era where parents tell you to shut the hell up. You know what I mean? I didn't raise my daughter like that. I raised my daughter to listen to her. And with me doing that, you know what I'm saying? I don't see the same things that I had to deal with growing up. We raised ourselves pretty much back then. Yeah, I had parents that was loving and this and that, but it's a different kind of love. You know what I mean? I grew up in an era where they tell you being successful is just getting a fucking job. You know what I mean? They don't, and it's not blaming them. That's just only what they knew. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's just a different push, man. Like, you just gotta, weather the storms. And what, like you said, what kept me strong and what kept me pushing through it was just faith, and not just God, but you know, you got to have some type of faith in yourself. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. So, I mean, do we plan on hearing another album drop? What's the next move?
Be honest, bro, I don't know. You know, I'm just kind of going with the flow, you know what I mean? Like I got a couple things, you know, I got a cousin that's out there in Hollywood doing what he do, you know, they call interest, you know what I'm saying? So I got some things working over there, trying to get into like just doing soundtracks and music for film and stuff like that. Writing, you know, that's my thing right there. I'm big on writing. I don't care too much to be behind the camera like that, but you know, just writing. And then, you know, we got the music thing popping off, the LGI label, the Smiff Co stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, we trying to get that stuff moving in the right direction, you know, and just give our young, man, we got a talent. You know, my family is very talented. Growing up, nobody knew anybody that do anything, you know, and me being a person who, I'm still a regular dude, but at the end of the day, you know, I built connections throughout the years, and, you know, I'm not afraid to try to move, you know, the people who don't get the chance to do anything like we did, you know, make it easier for them. Right. You know what I'm saying? At least give them an opportunity. So, you know, yeah.
Speaking of kids, man, not only was you a ball player, but you was also a coach, right?
Yeah.
You know, Coach Dean, you know?
Yeah. That's
so, man, like, what was your favorite thing about dealing with the kids when it comes to being a coach?
Man, to be honest, you know, I saw myself in them, you know, like coaching basketball, coaching youth football and stuff like that. I mean, it's almost like it's me out there, you know what I mean? Especially when you see them, you tell them to do something, you tell them something that you would have done, and then you see them go out there and do it. You know, ain't no better feeling in the world. You know what I'm saying? Coaching was the only thing close to music and myself playing sports, you know, that gave me that feeling. You know what I mean? Right. So, you know, yeah, it's just seeing them develop and stuff like that. It's just seeing you out there, man.
Right.
And you know, till this day, I can be anywhere. You know, I see anybody say, what's up, Coach Barry? You know, my kids know me as AK Slaughter, which was my rap name when I was young. You know what I mean? My kids know me as Dean Smiff. My kids listen to my music. You know what I mean? But they still respect me as coach. They still, you know, greet me as sir. And, you know, it's fulfilling, bro, for real. You know, there's ain't no feeling like it, for real.
Is it one of your favorite things that you've done in your life so far?
What, coaching?
Right.
Yeah, man, shit. Yeah, it's exhausting, I ain't gonna lie. You know, it'll do a lot of things in your life. You know what I'm saying? You'll be tired, it'll ruin a family, it'll do a lot of shit. But at the most part, it's fun, man. You know what I mean? Coaching is like, yeah, I love it.